Hello my fellow riders, today we're going to be looking at the Yamasaki F50, or otherwise known as the FOSTI F50. Now we're going to do this the same way we normally do: spec, design, comfort, pros and cons and cost of riding. And because a very nice lady has just had a conversation with me about what exactly is covered under the warranty, I am going to go through that as well. So, spec. This bike comes in either black or white. You can see the black one here. And it is a 50cc geared moped. Now this has the same sort of engine as a Honda, the Club 90, Honda SS50 and the Fizzy. So obviously the gear patterns are slightly different because the Club 90 had a 90cc and it had 3 gears and it was a semi-auto, I believe. Fun fact, when I was 16, I was going over a bridge. We bought one, we were playing on a field with it. We're going over a bridge. The bridge was lower than you can actually see until you go over the river, so I completely missed it. Jumped over, hit the other side, fell off, snapped my arm in 3 places. The bike span around in the air, landed on my mate's back, and he's now got skid marks up his back and I broke my arm. So, but anyway, whatever. So yes, these are the same as the Honda SS50 engines, the Club 90 engine and the Fizzy engine. They are 4-stroke, they are fuel injected, and it has approximately 2 to 3 horsepower. Now I'm not sure exactly what they have. They're going to have slightly more than what the Lexmotor Hunter had because it's fuel injected, and you get a little bit more torque, I believe, with fuel injection. Now this is the same as a quite a lot of the Japanese fuel injection, so it is a Delphi fuel injection system. And last shipment, I'm not 100% sure on this shipment, but last shipment were unrestricted when they come in the country. So the restriction is if they come from one part of China, they have to be restricted. If they come from another, they don't. If they come into the country unrestricted, they can stay unrestricted, but you have, if they come in the country restricted, you have to leave them restricted. So the rules on restriction are a little bit vague. That's the best way I can put it. They're a little bit vague. In theory, if the bike is restricted, it has to stay restricted until you are 17. If you are using your grandfather's rights, you still have to have the bike restricted on grandfather's rights. So it should be doing 30 miles an hour unless it comes into the country unrestricted in the first place. You don't have to modify it to be able to use it. Design. It is a naked, unfaired bike with a trellis frame, steel swing arm, steel exhaust, 17-inch wheels front and back. The front one is 70 110 and the back one is 1780 110. Comes with a digital display, and on the display it will show you in miles per hour. Now we did have some of the last shipment, they had km/h speedos. These ones are mile per hour speedos. It will tell you how much fuel you got, how far you've been, your trip meter, and it will tell you what gear you're in. Also, it has an engine management light, high beam, low beam light, and indicator. Has LED side lights and a H4 3535 front bulb. I think it might be slightly lower than that. LED indicators, LED rear light, and an LED number plate light. This is a Euro 4 bike, so it either has to be fuel injected or electronic carburation. You can't turn the headlights off on this. It will come on as soon as you start the engine. Comfort. The suspension is fairly soft. It sounds like the mud guard's rubbing on that a little bit, but I will sort that out before it goes. Seats are very hard. You have got the ability to take a pillion passenger. Don't. This bike really hasn't got the power for a pillion, and if you're on your L plates and you take a pillion, the likelihood of the police stopping you is fairly high. Last time I did it, when I was a kid, when I was younger, shall I say, I did have a pillion. The police stopped me. They said if we catch you again, we will remove your bike from you. They also told whomever was on the back to get off and walk. So you don't really want to run the risk of being stopped by the police, because it's just a big old pain in the backside. So you will be able to plod along on this, I believe, as somewhere in the region of 40 to 45 miles an hour. I will have to do an update when I've actually done a test ride on one, because this is the brand new one into the UK, so I don't 100% know if it's restricted or if it isn't. All the last ones we had for the last 3 shipments were unrestricted. Cost of riding. This bike costs £1,399 on the road. Insurance should be somewhere in the region of £350 to £700, depending on loads of different factors and depending on, where you get it from. So I usually use a company called BikeSure, and there is a description down below. If you do go with BikeSure and you stay with them for 14 days, riding reviews gets a little bit of a bonus. So please click that link, because all the help I can get helps me with my videos, and that's all good. Tax comes with the bike for the first year. After that is £20. MOT is, you don't have to have one for 3 years. And remember, if you're riding this sort of thing, you have to buy minimum, have a helmet, a jacket, gloves, and a pair of safety boots. I would suggest getting a pair of trousers, but the chances are you're probably not going to wear them. So yeah, let's have a little start up. So start it up, just wait for that buzz to stop. Pull in the clutch. Sometimes when they're brand new, you have to start them a couple of times. These have got a tendency of smoking a little bit, but don't worry about it. It's just, that's the way these ones are. It's something to do with the fuel air mixture from the fuel injection system. As the bikes run in, they will go slightly faster. Good thing about this is it does have side stand and center stand. If you do have it on the side stand and try and start it, the bike will not start. So just remember that, because otherwise you'll be going at it. You'll phone us up, why is my bike working? And you'll find that the battery is also being drained. So yeah. Switch gears are standard switch gears. Anybody that's ridden a bike before will know high beam, low beam, flasher, indicators, horn, starter, and kill switch. It's not rocket science. I'm sure that anybody that has a look will be able to figure it out. So it's all good. As I say, you can have a pillion, don't. So pros and cons of this bike. It is a very small bike. There is, well, it's a fairly large bike for a 50cc, so it's not really small, but engine capacity wise, it is really low capacity. If you are trying to go quite far on it, 30 miles or so, it's probably not the right bike for that sort of thing. Pottering around towns and stuff like that, that is what it's primarily designed for. What you'll find as well is that after you've run it in, you'll get more speed and a little bit more torque. When they're brand new, they're very tight. So you've got to run it in 1,000 miles or so, and it will get better and faster, and there's only a certain amount that you can get to, but it will get better, it will get faster. Lights, you probably want to put an LED light in there. Tyres will come unworn in. The bike will have 6 miles on it, but you need to wear the tyres in. Do 500 miles in good conditions, and that will rub off the greasy compound that builds up on the outside of a tyre when they're brand new. Doesn't have a luggage rack, so you have to have a bag. There is no under-seat storage, not really. There is a little toolkit in the rear seat, but you're not going to be able to get much else in there. You might be able to get a disc lock. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Right, so we're going to talk about the warranty a little bit. These bikes come with a 1 year's parts only warranty unless you bring it back to us at Cheap Bikes for Us, then the warranty is covered parts and labour. Now, this is a non-consumable warranty. So anything that you would have to change due to wear and tear at a later date would not be covered. So tyres, brake pads, brake discs, cables, that sort of thing are not covered under warranty. But if you say, for instance, have a leaky tank, that'll be covered. Your engine, majority of all stuff on the engine is covered. If you drop your bike yourself, that is not covered. Indicators, if they go, it's covered. Same with the clocks, same with the rear lights, same with suspension, all that sort of stuff is covered under the warranty. If the engine goes, I would very much suggest that you bring it back to us and we will sort that. But out of all of these 50cc motorbikes that we've had maybe 5 engines go in 6 years. And one was because somebody was going down a hill at like 45 miles an hour and slammed it into first. They don't like that, they're going to break. And all the rest were because people weren't servicing them correctly or they were running them out of oil. So mechanical failures from mechanical point of view with no outside interference, we've probably only had 1 or 2 of them, and that would be directly from the factory. They didn't make them correctly or something went wrong internally in the engine. Now, in regards to this sort of thing, we here at Cheap Bikes for Us, we've had people who, the owner used to work for Honda. Some of the guys in the workshop, one used to work for Harley, the other one worked in the army, he worked for loads and loads of different motorbike shops, and all of them say that the failure rate on a Japanese bike is about the same as the Chinese bike. So yes, sometimes with some of the very cheap Chinese bikes, the plastics aren't as good, but the plastics are better now than they used to be, and sometimes the engine components weren't as good, but as I say again, they are getting better with time. The quality divide between Japanese and Chinese bikes nowadays, it isn't as much at all, and the extra money you pay for a Japanese bike, is it worth it? I don't know. Now, there is going to be people on here saying that I'm a numpty and that I'm wrong. But they're people that have had problems with their bikes, most probably. The lady that I spoke to earlier, we've had people before, and they have said that another motorbike shop said 100% guaranteed you can never have a problem with your bike. We've never had a problem. Nobody has ever had a problem with their bike. This is rubbish. I will not say that. I cannot guarantee that you will never have a problem with this bike, because it doesn't matter if you pay £1 million for a bike. There is still a possibility that you're going to have problems with it. Doesn't matter where you get it from, doesn't matter what it is. Same with smartphones and all that sort of stuff. The Samsung Note is a good one. They brought that out and loads of them set fire. Now that is a high quality, expensive brand, and they caught fire. So my car, I've got a Chevrolet Captiva, and that one's got a recall on it. And just for the last point of conversation, shall we say, if every single bike or car in the world, so all the big manufacturers, BMW, Audi, Ford, all of them, if all of those bikes, all of those cars were really 100% never broke, why would we have the AA? They would go out of business pretty quickly if they had no cars to pick up. Just saying. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you've liked it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, depending whether you did or not. Subscribe to my channel to stay updated to all my latest content. But as always, Ride safe.